We would like to show that it is possible to make a huge positive change the moment we start to farm and build in a new way. Together, the building and agricultural industries account for around 55% of carbon emissions worldwide. But if we change the way we build and farm, we can stop more than half of our CO2 emissions and sequester much of that carbon back into the ground. According to the United Nations, the world's remaining topsoil will be gone within 60 years. We have 60 harvests left. 98% of all farmlands in the United States today are used for chemical farming. The US is becoming the sickest population in the world, spending $4.3 trillion annually on healthcare. Every month, new construction equivalent to the size of New York City is built worldwide. Around 37% of carbon emissions come from our buildings. We are using massive amounts of energy to achieve net zero by mass-producing electric cars and solar panels, and even if we were to reach net zero, we would still have 1,000 gigatons of carbon as our legacy load in the atmosphere. That would not solve our challenge. We have to think beyond net zero. But there is hope. You stand on it. It is our soil. The moment we start to listen to nature, we become connected. We have the possibility to go beyond net zero and sequester tons of carbon. The moment we start to farm as nature does, everything changes. With practices such as limited tilling of the earth and consistent ground cover of plants, the land becomes more resilient. There would also be greater resistance to floods and drought. The farmer earns more money because they don't need to buy chemicals and can use less fuel to tend their fields. This is how we heal the soil. We call this regenerative farming or carbon farming. Carbon is not our enemy. Carbon is our friend. It is the foundation of all life on our earth. Like plants, our soil is alive. In one handful of healthy soil, there are more organisms than people on the planet. All life is made out of carbon, including ourselves. All we need to do is rebalance where the carbon is stored. We can build net zero houses with energy-intensive building materials and emit a lot of CO2 before we even start to live in the building. But we can also build in another way. We can build net zero houses out of biomaterials such as straw from regenerative farmers. Now we are storing tons of carbon between the building and the earth, and we can finally sequester more carbon than we consume. We have the ability and the technology to build high-performance buildings out of straw. These buildings provide an excellent indoor climate and high comfort. They can be prefabricated, built quickly, certified, and last over 100+ years. They are built with no toxins and are healthy for people and our planet. Sustainable, resilient buildings made from raw materials that both provide us food and building materials. We can build straw panels to work with almost any design and build up to 12-story buildings. It would only take a small percentage of the straw grown in the US to provide enough materials to build all of the buildings constructed in the US each year, and it can be done with an agricultural byproduct. We can do more than just store carbon. We can achieve permanent carbon removal. If we take the straw from the building at the end of its life cycle and turn it into biochar, or return it to the regenerative farmer as mulch, then the straw continues as part of the carbon cycle and is stored in the ground again. Today we can do things we never have been able to do before now. We have a production line that can produce hundreds of homes a year, and a new production line can be put where there is a need. The production line can support local family farmers so they can produce healthy food. The straw can be used to build healthy homes and create economic growth in the local community. Instead of 6 billion tons of carbon emitted by the building industry each year, we can sequester gigatons of carbon back into the soil. We can produce billions of tons of healthy, nutritious food. Not only will we solve the carbon issue, we will solve a lot of the health issues we are facing today. building up soil and creating healthy food and healthy homes. The good news is, it doesn't cost us more, because these markets already exist. We build and consume food all the time. We don't need to develop a new technology. We have it already. We just have to farm and build in a new way. The moment we heal the soil, everything else changes. And if we heal the soil may heal us. Together, we can build a better future today.